So on this launcher, first thing, this box, for what it's worth, and somebody said they can't find these on Amazon anymore, but just get a box that protects it. It's like this has a rubber seal in here, and this foam in here protects it from shock if you drop it or whatever. And then when I put this on, I had this turn around the other way so that these latches, I had to get back here. Anyway, I couldn't get my finger back there to open them, so I turned the box around, so just makes it a little easier to use. So just something to think about. But and then I had gotten some like double-sided sticky tape and stuck it onto the front of the launcher here. Now I've got electrical tape because I think I got that other stuff wet or something. Anyway, it quit sticking after a while, but I just put some electrical tape on there to hold it for now. But so the launcher, this little mechanism here, has got two wires. They're the same, so it doesn't matter which one you use for which. At least that's what somebody told me. But I'll tell you how I have it hooked up. So these two wires, one of them has a gray stripe on it and the other is black. I don't know if you can see it. The one on top has a very light gray stripe on it. That one I have in the number 1 hole in this box. Let's see, this little circuit board box here. So number 1, I'll just call this number 1, which I don't know if they're actually numbered or not, but I have it in this one, number 1, which is right in front of the antenna. And be careful on that antenna because I actually broke it off and I had to use a friend's circuit board soldering kit to reconnect it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They're cheap. You can always buy another one, but anyway, so the gray stripe is in number 1. Actually, you know what? No, they both have a gray stripe. Never mind. So yeah, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So number 1 and number 3 is where they're connected. Number 1 and number 3 is where these two coming off of the launcher go. And then this battery wire here, I stripped the outer insulation off and exposed the red and black. And the black is joined to number 1 and the red is in number 2. Black number 1, red number 2. Now this other little loop right here, I should have stripped it all apart because all I'm using in this is a strand of black wire. But it jumps from number 2 to number 4. So you have to make a loop, like a jumper loop here from number 2 to number 4. Anyway, so, but I had just, part of the battery wire, I had just cut off and then opened up both ends of it. So that's why, you know, I'm not using the red that's in there, I'm using the black. So that jumps from number 2 to number 4. So the launcher wires are split between 1 and 3. The battery wires, black in 1, red in number 2. And then you just need a small jumper wire from number 2 to number 4. And then number 5 is empty. And of course these are very tiny wires and delicate solders. And always be sure on these little motherboards not to touch any of that with your hands because that oil can fry the connections. Any of the oil or dirt on your hands can fry the connections. Fortunately, I'm all protected. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty simple. The diagram was a little hard to follow for me at first. I had to really look at it a few times, but just be very careful with that antenna. I had just, after I got it soldered back on here, I very carefully you know, just tried to bend it out of the way. And this box has little, you know, holes that, you know, that are designed to put wires into it. So be sure to utilize that. And so like where this wire comes into the box, I had actually cut myself a notch in here to be able to accommodate that. And then honestly, I never launch birds when it's raining anyway, because quail can't fly when they get wet. So I usually just latch this one and I'll leave this one and this one open. Just keep it out of the weather. Then you don't have to worry about, you know, breaking wires or getting, you know, anything wet or whatever. But anyway, so that's the quail launcher. Works great. Probably had it 2 years since I made it. Have not had to charge this battery once, other than when I first got it. So it works pretty well. I would just recommend putting some flagging up, you know, in a tree or some tall grass next to what you are, or where you're setting this, or even like a surveyor's flag, you know, the little metal stick with the you know, the little orange flags on it. You know, put something like that. I wouldn't put it right by the bird because you don't want the dog to start looking for them, but you just have it nearby in the area just so you don't forget where you set your launcher. And that should help, since this doesn't have a beeper function on it. But anyway, one thing I'll say on this gizmo right here, one of my dogs got a hold of this launcher one time. I wasn't quick enough about releasing it, and they kind of bent this up. So you see it moves quite a bit. So just anyway, it wasn't launching one time when I was training, and he kept getting on the launcher, and that's because, like, it's just got to make contact just perfect with this deal, because when you set it off, this shoots in and it catches this, which, you know, throws it this way. This comes back, you know, and releases the arm. Anyway, so hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know.